Hey everyone, Kyle again with VersaVault. I want to take a sec, kind of go over some things to look at when you're buying a shipping container. We're standing here with a used 20-footer, and if it's your first time buying one container, we like these used containers because they're cheap storage, but always recommend that you buy from somebody that can actually show you the container that you're buying. And when you have the chance to actually go out and pick one out, there's a couple things that kind of separate a good container from one that's not so good. I mean, they've all been on a ship for probably 15 to 20 years and been unloaded a couple hundred times. So you're gonna have some wear and tear, you're gonna have some surface rust. That's kind of just part of it. So the first thing you want to look at on these used containers versus new is kind of the doors themselves and how easy they are to open and close. You're going to be getting in and out of them a lot, so you want to, container by container, you want to look and see how easy they are to open. That's why it's so important to actually come out and look at these things before you just wire someone some money and send it off and hope that you get something. But yeah, that's number one. Check to make sure that the doors open and close easy. The latching system specifically, sometimes these things will get bent or galled up, your handles will get bent, and makes it really hard to open. So make sure you got good straight handles, nothing's bent up, and then go ahead and actually open the container. These open in opposite directions, so your left hand handle opens the right hand, so you kind of do it at the same time. So that was pretty easy. All the latches work good. Next thing is your hinges. Make sure that none of your hinges are galled up, and this door should swing and close, or open and close pretty easily. And yeah, that one's pretty good. Okay, after you've looked at the doors and make sure that they open reasonably easy, you want to come inside and actually look at the container itself. Big things the floor, you want to check for patches and stuff like that. Again, we're used containers here, it's cheap storage, which is great, but the less patches you can get in the floor, the better. This one has none, which is really good. Next is kind of your walls, and it's the same thing. When these things are on a ship being transported back and forth across the Pacific, we've all heard stories about them falling off in ships. They hit each other. So this one, we got a few patches on the left-hand side on the walls themselves. They're not too big, which is great. But a big one is your roof. I always make sure that my roof is somewhat free of patches if I can. And this one here, we don't have a patch anywhere in the roof at all, which is good. We don't have to worry about anything leaking. And then another thing is to look for dents. If you have a dent in the ceiling somewhere, when it rains and stuff like that, you're just gonna have water sitting in that dent that's not actually running off the side of your containers. So you look for that from front to back, and then always check the corners. Because on the container that would be stacked above it, if somebody on the lift makes a mistake and the container above it hits, it's usually gonna hit in the front and back. So those are some areas to focus on when you're inside the container actually looking around. Well, that pretty much wraps up our video on new versus used and some things that you should look out for. We ask if you guys are in the market for a container to come out and see us and let us help you pick out a container that works for you. Again, VersaVault, 724-209-4242. Thank you.